When she's worse than he is. She's a Marxist, and she's worse than he is, frankly. So it's, so disappointing. Can you imagine he's on vacation in California? They basically take away his nomination. Nobody's ever seen anything like that before. So he leaves and goes on vacation. He got 14. In all fairness to him, I'm no fan of Sleepy Joe, believe me. But he got 14 million votes. She got no votes, and they took it away. And, they did the same thing. We signed up RFK, who's great. He's a good guy. Got so many things. But they wouldn't let him compete. They wouldn't let him. If he competed as a Democrat, he would have won. I think he would have won the nomination over. Then I would have had to run against him. I'd rather run against these people. But, it's just one of those things. But we were in the neighborhood. We were talking to the National Guard. It was great. It was really fantastic. And I said, we got to come over and see. We really have this. If we can win this state, we win the whole thing. We win the whole thing. Well, we're going to win the whole thing. We have a couple of states that look real good that aren't traditionally Republican, but you don't even like to have to count on it. We have these great places that we did phenomenally on last year, as you said. We last time we had a great race in 2016, but we did much better in 2020. Think of it, got millions and millions more votes. But I will say they were both great, but there's more enthusiasm now than there was then. Wouldn't you say so? Wouldn't you say? Because, and really the difference is that we see how incompetent they are. We see what's going on. We see how just grossly incompetent. The war with Russia, Ukraine would have never happened. The Israeli attack would have never happened. You wouldn't have inflation. You wouldn't have had that Afghanistan horror show that the press never talks about. They refuse to talk about it. And we are going to do something that I think will be just unbelievable. I told a very respected person in terms of leadership in Europe is from Hungary, Viktor Orban, and he said if Trump were back, there'd be no wars. Because they respected us. He used stronger language than that. I won't use it because I'm embarrassed. But he used much stronger language than that. But they respected us, and they're going to respect us again, because right now we're a laughing stock all over the world. We're a laughing stock, and she's worse than Biden. I think Kamala, I call her Comrade Kamala, because she's a total Marxist. I mean, the whole thing is her father's a Marxist professor. He taught her well. And then she goes flip-flopping all over the place. Every single thing that she believed in 2 years ago and a year ago, she now says, oh, no, I'd love to go fracking. She's not going to frack. She's not going to do anything. And the country's going to go down. The country will go down. She is. But the country will go down. So I just wanted to pay my respects. We love you all. We're going to be back. We're going to be back. Look, we have John, we have everybody, huh? Lisa. And that was great. We all were together on the last one, and it was great. And, Tulsi, so Tulsi just endorsed me. Tulsi just endorsed me in front of the National Guard. That made it permanent, when you're in front of the National Guard. She gave us a great endorsement, actually. And I've had a lot of respect for her for a long time. And, to a large extent, you are about common sense, too. John's about common sense. Lisa's a killer. Lisa. How good is she, right? But this is an incredible group, and we just appreciate it. Again, if we win here, Chelsea, we do all these things, and who knows, right? But you win here. The automakers and the auto workers, you can forget the auto industry if we don't win. We're going to bring tremendous amounts of plants in. We're going to bring them in because we're going to do it with tariffs. It's so simple. They're building now 2 of the largest plants in the world in Mexico, and China owns them. And they think they're going to make cars, and they're going to sell them into the United States, and there's not going to be a price to pay. We're not going to let them do it. They're going to take all our jobs. These plants are massive. A couple of them could take half of Detroit. It's the real deal. A friend of mine builds plants. I said, I want to go see a plant. I want to see what it's like. Oh, good. We'll go to Mexico. I said, no, I want to see one here. He said, the big ones are being built in Mexico. And they're owned by China to a large extent. The 2 that I'm talking about are owned. Can you believe it? This would never happen. 4 years ago, they were not doing it. because I said, if you build a plant, you got 150% tariff that we're putting, and you're not going to be able to sell your car. You can sell it, but you're not selling it in here. And they will destroy our auto industry totally. And we're going to make it, we're going to double it up. I'll bet you we will double it up within the 2.5-year period. In 2.5 years, it'll be doubled up. So just remember. So I just want to, you ought to spread the word to this character that the head of the union, he is selling them down the tubes. I just saw a poll. We have 88% of the auto workers, and he endorsed Sleepy Joe. Crooked Joe, Sleepy Joe, I guess it doesn't matter anymore. Somebody said, oh, you shouldn't waste your time. He's the president, right? Yeah. He's the president. They said, oh, don't waste your time with him. He doesn't matter. Can you believe it? So we're going to have a great time. When you look at their convention, when you look at what they were really saying, and what they weren't saying is worse. They didn't say what they're going to be doing. I will tell you, we're going to make America greater than ever before. I appreciate your support. That woman with those beautiful eyes, and she's crying. She's crying because she said, sir, you won it the last time. And we did. He won it the last time, too, by the way. I'll be honest. He's less controversial than me. He may not want it, but he won it the last time. But he's doing great anyway. John is doing great. Thank you all very much. We appreciate it. Enjoy the pizza. Okay? Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you. We'll come back. We'll be back.